Our last speaker, even though he's a pastor, is also a very good writer. It's full of wisdom, full of knowledge, full of everything. I mean, he was with us yesterday, outpouring and teaching us all this. I mean, I will let him speak. Let me just introduce him quickly so that we don't waste time. Ambassador Pastor Alexander Boateng from Ghana, and he'll be sharing with us on diplomatic relationship in leaders. So who is this, our anointed one? Pastor Ambassador Alexander Ombek Boateng, a true son of Edward Mills, is the head pastor and founder of Gospel Turning Lives Church, Sunyani. A man full of love for God and man. He has his master's degree in organizational management at Cambridge International College, UK, and the president and founder of AOB Ministry and led Global Academic in Ghana. He runs Smart Health Plus Limited as the CEO and the founder. Pastor Alexandra is a gospel music minister, which he sang for us yesterday. A teacher and a preacher of the gospel, an evangelist and a strong writer with several songs with the media name AOB. As a prolific writer, he has authored not less than 60 books and is known for the best-selling book, Who is Knocking? I have the book as well. Pastor Alexandra is a conference speaker and a global peace ambassador, the country director of International Organization of World Ambassadors with headquarters in Argentina. He is the world speaker for the International Parliament for Safety, Peace and Justice, IPSPJ. He loves to teach and train the youth in leadership, entrepreneurship, diplomacy in the fear of the Lord. Currently, he is a chartered administrator at Sunaya Technical University in Ghana. Pastor Alexandra is a family man with a wonderful 3 kids. Books, like I said, is a great writer. So the Learn Series Library, also known as Maternal Library. So he has written so many books, and some of them will be on learn to do good, learn to be happy, learn to give thanks, learn to be humble, learn to be truthful, learn to give good report, learn to be lovely, learn to keep secret, learn to remember, learn to stand alone, learn. So it's about Learn series, learn to be excellent, learn to be fruitful, learn to obey, learn to repeat, learn to forgive, many more. Learn to be modest, learn to love, learn to remove fear, learn to learn, and learn to be confident, and many more books. So, and other books by AOB will also be Who is Knocking? Strategic Wisdom of Identifying and Overcoming Our Enemy. When you lack oil, who is among us? Who is really among us? Those who fear the Lord spoke among themselves, the virgin at night. My roadmap to salvation, a transcript, how I came to be anointed conference in honor, and other books as well. So permit me to introduce to us Ambassador, Pastor Alexandra Boateng from Ghana to share with us this afternoon. The stage is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you so much. I am swollen-headed of all these accolades. I think that it's all by the grace of God. Without God's grace and God's power, we can't do anything. I thank God for the opportunity one more time to join YYCI.
Okay, so sometimes we will need to be readjusting ourselves because of the internet, because of the connection from Ghana. But he is going to do his best to try to deliver the message. So let's just keep having patience. I might be speaking in between it so that we are not just sitting listening to nothing. No voice. So Ambassador Pastor AOB is sharing with us an important information this afternoon. But while he's still trying to reconnect, let me just quickly challenge us that mindset is everything. It is okay to attend all these workshops, seminars, masterclasses, conferences. It's okay. We have the time. We sacrifice it. Sometimes we have to invest in it. But the most important thing is when we get a better understanding of what we've learned, then it's okay to install it into our own mindset. Because what you install in your mindset will determine how you react, how you also perform. Mindset is everything. Some people will say growth mindset and fixed mindset. Fixed mindset is when you just assume that you know it all and nobody can talk to you anymore, or you've given up on learning, or you don't need to know any other thing, or you believe in just the old policy, old days and that, or there's no room for you to improve yourself. You think you are too old to learn or too young to learn. So these are all fixed mindset. And sometimes fixed mindset can derive also into negative mindset. Because if you don't believe in yourself, if you put yourself down, how do you want to progress? How do you want to move on? There's no point saying you want change, but are you changing your mindset? Because it's very important. But when you grow your mindset and keep growing and renewing, that means new informations are coming in and you are learning, you are gaining, and you are acquiring for more by researching and reading. So now I hand over to Ambassador Pastor Ibubi. Continue.
Very sorry for the interruption of the
It's
network.
okay, continue. Thank
All right,
you.
thank you. All right. So please, can you enable me to share the slide?
Yes, please. I will.
Okay. All
Okay,
right. Thank you.
all
All right.
yours now.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
We can enlarge it.
Okay.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
All
Thank you.
yours now.
All right. So today, we'll be looking at diplomatic relationship.
It's today, but we will keep on. I think it's just a connection from Ghana, and he has really, really prepared. That is why you have to use the slides, because he has really prepared and prepared for this section. And this connection, I don't know how we're going to overcome it, but we will overcome it. We can't hear you at all. Okay, so what do you think you can do? Do you want to reschedule it? Okay, so let me continue with what I'm just saying about this mindset. So some people will have that kind of mindset of, I just don't need any change. I don't, they will even have their own negative and say, it's not possible to change. That thing cannot change. I cannot love. I cannot relate. That thing is too big for me. These are all the mindset that we need to shift. This is the mindset that we need to shift to positive and growing mindset. Because if you start thinking about this, that we will always be surrounded with negativity, there will always be problems, there will always be challenges, because that is part of the process of growing. That is the process of our experience. There will always be strategy, there will always be adversity, there will always be problem. But one thing I want you to know, and that is how you need to have your renewed mindset and positive mindset and grow your mindset. Because no condition is permanent. If you can know that, then you all know that you can overcome it. You can rise above that or condition. Because you are not going to control what is in the world, but you can control what you believe. You are not going to control any other person, but you can control and discipline yourself. You are not going to change anybody, but you can change yourself to influence others. So once you gain that understanding, then you will be able to embrace every situation that comes your way. You just have to think ahead. You just have to think above that situation. And that is what we're talking about when we're saying mindset. Because what you think is what is in your mind. And what is in your mind is what you will believe. And what you believe is what you will take action on. And that is why it is so important. We are talking about circumstances now. We are surrounded with so many things in the world, so many chaos, negativity, things are happening. You can't stop that. You can't control that. People are dying every day. Accidents are happening. Earthquake everywhere. Even flooding. I mean, like, for example, my pastor Ahobi is from Ghana. They have problem with electricity. They have problem with connecting. But we cannot stay and fold our arms and say, well, the end is coming. No. While you are still here, enjoy where you are to where you are going. These are the informations that you need to store in your mind to get you going, to get you moving forward, to get you progressing. That is why you cannot give up. That is why you cannot lose hope. And you can only stand and progress and rise up from wherever you find yourself, where you've fallen down, by the informations you've stored in your mindset. That is very important. And even the surroundings, where we surrounded ourselves, all the friends we have, the groups we are belonging to. It all depends on what is in your mindset. So if you are full of positive, people of positivity will attract you, or you will attract them. If you are full of negativity, people around you will be influenced, and you also will be influenced. So that's more reason why we should take good care of our mindset. And I think our speaker is trying to connect. I don't know if he's connect or not. Let me check. So that is why we keep on asking us questions. These questions help us to be thinking critically. When you ask questions, you are reasoning. You are seeing the picture of what the person is saying. That is why sometimes when you are reading or you are listening or you are watching, you need to do it with attentively listening. You need to be listening with understanding. Why is that? Even if you are watching film, what is the gain? What are you gaining from that film you are watching? What will be your own take home? How is it going to affect your life, affect your thinking, affect your actions, and even your performance? Like I said right from the beginning of this, I said, to build your mindset, it's either you are whatever you are seeing, whatever you are watching, whatever you are reading, whatever you are listening to. And even if the circle of friends and groups and associations you find yourself, that doesn't mean that negativity will not come. That doesn't mean that you are not in this world. That doesn't mean that you have to isolate yourself or you don't want to listen to what is going on in the world. It's just a matter of you quantifying what you want to hear, what you want to hear, and what you want to add to your mindset. You have to guide your mind. I mean, take for instance, for somebody to pick up their gun and start shooting their fellows, their colleagues, their peers. What is the state of that mind of that person? He said, as a man thinks, so is he. And that is why we are YYCI International. We come to organize this program so that we can invite all our great mentors, teachers, speakers, leaders to come and share, to come and deposit their own information, their wealth of knowledge and wisdom, to come and deposit it into our ears so that we can store it in our mindset for us to perform well, for us to relate well, and for us to even have a better understanding why many of us behave the way we behave. Because what you don't know can kill and damage. Lack of understanding creates violence and abuse and others. If you can get a better understanding through dialogue, sitting down, communicating with us with the right words, right time, and the right position of communicating it, then there will be peace. We are all talking about peace here, peace there, war there, war there. But what is our own impact? What is our own contribution? And that is what we need to be thinking. And that will depend on how you are developing yourself. How you are developing yourself, how you are gaining knowledge, and what kind of knowledge are you gaining? What kind of information are you gathering? It's very important. You want your marriage to work? Then move with those people that has done it and learn from them. You want to be successful in education? Then move with others. Like me, I'm surrounded with people like Professor TPS. And I'm gaining a lot for the past 3 years. And not only me, I even organize this kind of event where others also can gain from him. That's the way to go about it. Okay, I'm not a speaker. So let's welcome Ambassador Pastor AOB. Let's see if we can continue from there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mommy. I hope that the internet will not go off again.
I hope so.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right, so we're learning from how a person can become an international diplomat. And with what I have here, a diplomat must actually be somebody who knows a little bit about foreign relations. So in as much as we're talking about relationships, one of the things that we should learn to do is to learn to have foreign relationships, learn to know cultures, learn to know different diverse views of people's atmospheres and environments, how people talk, how they eat, how they dress, and how they know their things. So therefore, the most recognizable route to a career in diplomacy, I mean, if you really want to become one, is you can have a master's degree to become one. Okay, you can have international relationships and studying political science and all these. So these are just an overview of that. Now, what is an international diplomacy? In as much as we want to have or know more about diplomatic relationship, let us know what it means to be a diplomat. I mean, liaising between your organization, your country, and to other places outside your environment or outside your country. So here I say that the art of practice of conducting international relations, as in negotiating alliances, treaties, and agreements. But the key point is here is that a person must have a skill in dealing with people. So to be a diplomat, one of the things you need to have is a tact, a skill, the way to relate, the way to talk, the way to behave, the way to have, I mean, your demeanor, your gestures. It must be a skill in dealing with many kinds of people. Your skill in dealing with different kinds of people will show how diplomat you are. All right. So you placating the angry customer requires a delicate diplomacy. When you meet somebody who is making you angry all the time, and you need to practice a sense of a skill dealing with such a person, your skill will determine how you handle angry people from different places. Your skill will determine how you handle envious people from different places. Your skill will handle how you handle people who discourage you, people who bring you down, and even people who praises you. Because not all people that praises you will actually want you well. So there should be a skill of dealing with all kinds of people. All right. And then I also talk about how you engage people privately and how you engage people publicly in a dialogue. So diplomacy is also a skill in engaging people privately and also in the way you engage them in a public dialogue. The way you speak to people publicly, by all means, will be different from the way you speak to them privately. Sometimes you might have a very private relation with someone who is well known publicly. So the way you relate to the person when you are in the house might not be the same way you relate to the person when you are outside, because the person might be a public figure, the person might be well known and well respected. But when you are in the house with the person, probably you can even see her nakedness or his nakedness. You see how he behaves, I mean, childish and all that. But when you go out, you don't behave the same way as you behave privately with a person. So dealing with diplomacy, I want us to look at this definition. Someone who can be sensitive in dealing with others and who can achieve peaceful resolutions or facilitate discussions. At least this thing must be the basis of moving out of your comfort zone to say, I'm representing my country, I'm representing an organization, I'm representing an association. So for instance, for YYCI has diplomats or ambassadors throughout the whole of Africa and the whole of Europe. These people must be people that are very sensitive in dealing with others, who can achieve peaceful resolutions and also facilitate discussions. So a person who doesn't take these sides in the fight, a person who doesn't take sides in the fight, but who instead helps others to resolve their differences is an example of someone who is a diplomat. So you don't take sides. Sometimes, even in politics, in your own country politics, to be a diplomat is very difficult to openly say, I belong to this party or I belong to that party. Because if there's a problem and you need to set in to resolve the problem, if you have identified yourself with one particular party, it will be very difficult to settle disputes when they arise. Because even when you are being objective, they might think you are speaking in favor of the party that you belong to. So diplomats and ambassadors must be very careful not to sideline ourselves, take sides with people when it comes to dealing with these situations and discussing treaties. Let's look at the purpose of diplomacy. The purpose of diplomacy is to strengthen the organization, is to strengthen a particular state, is to strengthen a particular nation. It serves in relating to others by advancing the interest and its charge. So when you are a diplomat, you have a responsibility to advance the purpose of an organization, to advance the purpose of an entity, of a nation, not your own purpose. A diplomat must not advance his or her purposes. So in diplomatic relationship, you should know that you are in for the interest of a particular organization. You are in for the interest of a particular nation or state. So you don't go in to be selfish. You don't go in to talk about yourself. You don't go in to talk about what you want to do, but what your organization or your nation wants to do. This kind of relationship will actually promote you to becoming a very good diplomat and dealing with others on the basis of representing a particular organization. So to put it this way, without the risk and expense of using force, and preferably without causing resentment, you should be able to liaise between your organization, your nation, and then other organizations. Now, one of the skills that a diplomat must have in communication or in a relationship is the skill of lobbying. Is the skill of lobbying. So I have termed lobbying in three ways. I mean, when it comes to diplomacy, how can you lobby? You can lobby by being a representation. You can lobby by negotiation. You can lobby by observation. All right. So you are here for, I mean, the basic task of diplomacy. I've defined it way: representation, negotiation, and observation. So these are the three basic things that you have to do in your relationship as a diplomat. You have to represent, you have to negotiate, and you have to observe. And this all comes under the spirit of lobbying, representing the sender state within the host state, protecting its interests of the sender state and its citizens within the receptive state. So here, all in a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that you are here to protect the interests of the one that has sent you. You are here to protect the interests of the one that you are representing. And you are negotiating. Your negotiation must be on the interest of the one you are representing. So for instance, I represent my organization in a matter of safety, peace, and justice. If I'm sent to negotiate anything on safety, peace, and justice, I am in to talk about only safety, only peace, and only justice. I don't go in there to say anything else apart from my 3 ways I've been sent to do. So these are the things that diplomats must also take into consideration. Now, let's look at the characteristics of a diplomat, even in relations with other international organizations and states. One, a diplomat possesses an abiding interest in and passion for the arts and crafts of diplomacy and international relations. You should have a passion to relate with others from outside your country. You should have the passion to speak with others outside your language. All right. If I say language, not just about your I'm not just talking about the words you speak or the words that come out. I'm even talking about how you think. Because sometimes the way you think is even your language, and it differs from the way others think from different parts of the world. So you should be ready to possess an interest and a passion to coordinate, to fill a cup full of people of different kinds, with different ideologies, with different culture. Or say a diplomat must have this characteristics of demonstrating an investigative nature. As a diplomat, your spirit must always be an investigative nature. You don't just come to an end. You just don't conclude a matter by hearsay. You just don't conclude a matter because you think that it is right or wrong. But you should have a spirit of an investigator who actually wants to find out the truth, want to objectively be right before you quickly talk about a matter. A diplomat must write well and must write quickly, must be verbally fluent and also brief. A diplomat must not talk long. If you want to have a good relationship with other people outside the organization, you should not be a talkative. You should be verbally influent and you should be brief. You should be point on point. You should know what you are saying. You should go straight to the point without circumnavigating, without going round about what you want to say. You would rather be boring people instead of giving them what they really have to get. The next characteristic of a diplomat is you have to ensure a meticulous attention of detail. A diplomat must ensure details. Don't brush over things, because sometimes the very thing you are brushing over is the very solution you are looking for. So don't brush over things. Look into the matters. Look into your area. Find details. Take your time and come out with details that will help you to communicate and relate with others outside your jurisdiction. Be a tough and effective negotiator. All right? Sometimes you don't just give in. Sometimes you have to strike out very well and make sure that you are negotiating very well to achieve your objective, to achieve the purpose of the sender, the one that you are representing. Build a long-term physical and mental stamina. Building physical stamina deals with exercising, deals with the food you eat, deals with, taking the right medications and that. And the mental stamina also deals with reading more knowledgeable. A diplomat must be a reader. You need to read more about the people you are meeting. Read more about those that are not in your country. Read more about those that are not in your organization. Learn to know more about people outside where you are. You have to accept dangerous assignments. Some assignments might not actually be appetizing to you. But as a diplomat, because you are not in for yourself, some assignments, you need to accept them, no matter how dangerous you are. Study history. And I think that history will actually help you to be able to come out with solutions quickly, because you know how things are flowing, you know how things have been done, and you know how things must be done, getting to the future. Still on the characteristics of a diplomat, prudently speaking your opinion to power. A diplomat must not be afraid of authority. If I say don't be afraid of authority, I don't mean to fight authority. Don't go in fighting authority. But you should be able to face authority without panic. You should be able to face authority without fear. You have to be bold enough to face authority, to face power, and then present your opinion. That is one characteristic of a diplomat. You see, you have to be able to relate with power. Have the confidence to relate with authority. Have the confidence to have a good relationship with the power around you. That makes you a diplomat. Be loyal, be truthful to your boss. A diplomat cannot be unfaithful. The Bible says that it is a requirement for a steward to be faithful. So it is a requirement for a diplomat to be faithful, to be loyal to your boss. You should let your white be white and your red be red and your black be black. As a diplomat, you should be transparent to your boss. That is how you are going to lead the world. if you can do these things very well. Cultivate a policy flexibility, acquire relevant work experience, learn more on the job, be humble to learn from others who have led you. I mean, those that are above you in experience, learn from them. Very important. Know your political ideology, but don't identify with any politics. But you should know where you belong to. Take advantage of lack when you encounter it. As a diplomat, any place you go and there is a lack of something, it is your responsibility to take advantage of the lack and encounter something. I mean, bring out something out of lack, create something out of the lack. That will also make you a diplomat relating to others who need your responsibility, who need your resources, who need your knowledge to also improve upon their lives. Now let's look at this one, the protocol system in international diplomacy. Now I believe that this one is going to help us all. The protocol system in international diplomacy. You can never be a diplomat without experience, without exercising or without experiencing protocol. Protocol is one system that actually have a link with diplomacy. Every diplomat must experience protocol, must respect protocol, must also be a protocol. And when we say protocol, it's an important part of diplomacy, all right? And the practice is actually linked with history. And when you look at royalties, when you look at kingdoms, when you look at even religion, even in the church, protocol works. You cannot have your way just like that. You know how to go through your ways. You know whom to contact. Sometimes we break protocols unnecessarily, creating problems, creating disloyalty, creating unfaithfulness. Protocol is very important as a diplomat. Protocol means a system of rules governing formal occasions. There's a system of rules in every organization. If you are dealing with others, if you are having a relationship with other organizations, other countries, you should know that they have got a set of rules that they use in organizing their system. All right. So, or the acceptance way to behave in a particular situation, how to behave, how to channel your discussions, how to channel your petitions. There is a channel of way. There is an accepted way to behave. That is protocol, and a diplomat must follow protocol wherever it is. Oh, sorry, I'm not done. Just the few words, and then we are going. The screen sharing has stopped. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, lastly, maybe we are just right. Okay. So. All right. So, lastly, let's look at the protocol procedures. Now, when we say protocol procedures, it means that there is one you have to pass through. There's two you have to go. There's three you have to be. If a diplomat actually skips one and goes to two or goes to three, you are being disloyal, and then you are being unfaithful, and then you're also trying to center attention on yourself. You are trying to be proud and not to be humble. So protocol procedures must actually be looked at as a way of relating or a way of relationship when it comes to diplomacy. For instance, we have YYCI, and then Dr. or Mommy is our chairperson. If you really want to channel anything through others, there's a way of doing it. I remember some people go around talking to other speakers, maybe begging them for money, begging them for opportunities and all that. If you do that, you are breaking protocol, and those procedures will make you look some way. It will change you. It will change your reputation. But if you channel your procedures to the right protocol, it gives you the advantage to get what you are looking for. All right. So there's also a behavior of etiquette. A behavior of etiquette. I mean, in relationship or in diplomatic relationship, there is a behavior of etiquette, and you should learn how to do it. Because if you don't learn how to behave etiquettely, you can destroy your future with others. You can cut off your advantages. You can destroy the good things that you can experience from the organization that has sent you. The rules of courteousness in a society, the root of courteousness in a society, and the respect of precedence. These are all things that I believe that a diplomat must have in your relationship with others who are not within the same organization. And then I want to crown it all by saying that as being a diplomat, courtesy is important, respect is important,
and
and then
professionalism.
professionalism is very important. Courtesy, respect, and professionalism. With this one, I'll say that I'll end my case here, and then maybe we can continue another time. Thank you so much for listening to me for this short time. Thank you so much.
And thank you for not giving up. Thank you so much for not giving up on this presentation today. That is part of lives. There will always be challenges. There will always be challenges, problems, connectivity. But as long as we don't give up, we will definitely present and we'll definitely achieve our goals. So I really appreciate that, Ambassador Pastor AOB from Ghana. Okay, let me open the floor. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to Dr. Samina, Evelyn, and Dr. Stephen Cameron from Pakistan for being a regular student and leader. Dr. Samina is our president from Pakistan, and Dr. Stephen is our vice president. And very soon we'll be reaching out to all the schools in Pakistan in order for us to empower, inspire, mentor, and guide them. So on this note, I would like to welcome Dr. Samina Evelyn to contribute or to ask questions quickly.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pastor Ambassador Alexander Boateng.
You got it right.
The topic, the diplomatic relationship in leader. It is a good presentation. The characteristics of diplomat must be loyal, truthful, cultivate policy flexibility, acquire relevant work and experience, know your political ideology, take an advantage of luck when you encounter it. Good, it was well done, and especially the challenge of the connection. And a diplomatic leader, he is around the world. This is, I like it, that around the world we have relationship, and in other countries also, like UK, like Ghana, like USA, and Canada, Australia, everywhere, where our mindset is the people of our mindset dwell. We should contact them. We should link with them, and we should give our advices and take advices from them. It is good. So we should give them protocol, respect, courtesy, and professionalism is also very important. Thank you very much for giving us a wonderful presentation. It's a good information, and we enjoyed a lot. So tell me something, the behavior of and rules of courteousness and respect. Elaborate it, that how we can protocol our people who are around us and respect them. Respect is very important, but when they are away from us in the other countries, so there are challenges, there are networking, many other problems. So tell us something more in detail that how we should give them protocol and our behavior and our etiquettes and our courteousness and how we can respect them, regard them. Please elaborate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Samina Evelyn. I'm very humble to be also talking to you and even giving my suggestions on issues like this. When it comes to diplomacy, there is so much involved. We cannot even finish discussing on our platform today. But just like you said, there is a key point that we all should know when it comes to diplomatic relationships. So I concluded by saying that professionalism. Now, if you see it this way, like I mean, if you entail professionalism, there are some things you will not do, and there are some things that you will have to do. So, for instance, if you are dealing with a boss or if you are dealing with another organization, and then you realize that you have an interest in a particular deal for yourself, but not for your organization, the first thing you should know is that you should be professional. What does professionalism says? Professionalism says that you are not in for your own interest, but you are in for the interest of your organization. So immediately you go in for the deal or for that particular contract because of your selfish interest, then you have failed in professionalism. And then also, when we talk about respect, sometimes you also get involved with other diplomats who might not necessarily respect you. They will take you for granted. They will not listen to you. But you are not there because of yourself. You are there because you have been sent on the basic of a state, a nation, or an organization. So how do you deal with this situation? You'll deal with the situation by reporting back home. Know how to report back to your organization, your findings. When you sent me on this field of representing and then observation and then and knowing these things, these are my findings. What next steps should I take? So a diplomat must always relate both with the outsiders and the insiders. Relate with your organization, relate outside the organization. I mean, seeking information and knowing what to do. It is true that you are knowledgeable to apply your own skills, but it is also true that do not go outside the principles of your organization. And how do you do that? You do that by always contacting. So, for instance, if an ambassador of India I mean being sent to Ghana, you report to the Indian government. So anything that you are doing in Ghana, you report back to India. The government wants to do something in Ghana, the government reports back to you. There is no way you will do something on your own because you are a full government in Ghana. And if you want to do anything in India, we don't go to India.
Okay. You will round up very soon. He's just answering your question while we continue to share
We
and
go to the
then we
ambassador of
finish.
India in Ghana. So these are according to how you have been sent and not how you want it to be done. So maybe I would just want to quickly say that let's look at things this way, and then we can continue by building the foundation and then building the walls on the foundation.
Great answer. Are you satisfied, Dr. Samina?
Yeah, yes,
Good. All
it's
right.
good. Good
Wonderful.
answer.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering. Dr. Stephen, quickly, I would like to hear your voice. I'd like you to contribute or to ask question before we
Thank you so
round up.
much, a very
Yeah.
dear Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas, for giving me this opportunity. It was such an amazing session, and our very dear, I mean, pastor, an honorable pastor, has delivered an amazing session for diplomatic mindset that is very essential for building strong relationships and fostering effective leadership. So, I've taken, a lot out of it. I mean, as leaders, it is our responsibility to cultivate empathy, active listening, open-mindedness, adaptability, integrity, and in ourselves and others also. We have to create an environment, in which, these all things should be prevalent. And so, but my question here is that can we actually incorporate diplomacy in our families to, to stop conflicts or to manage conflicts? Um, yes. So, Ambassador Pastor AOV, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Steve. Please, I didn't get your question well. If you can
Okay.
explain that.
Let me rephrase my question. How can we use the diplomatic communication skills uh, to manage or navigate conflicts and disagreements within families? Because somehow, we have to apply these diplomacy skills in our lives, so that, there would be less conflicts, or, we want to, resolve conflicts between families also. I know, it's a bigger phenomena, a diplomatic relationship between countries, but when we are at the individual level, kindly elaborate that how we can use these skills uh,
For the
of
family and
diplomacy.
marriage.
Yes.
Okay, I think I get
Thank
your
you.
question. So, in another way, how you can bring diplomacy into the family, your family
Yes.
world. Yeah,
Yes.
Absolutely, sir.
yes. So, I mean, in the first place, there is a place to practice diplomacy and a place not to practice diplomacy. Seriously, if you want to put diplomacy in the family, there are some things you cannot even talk about because you will let it go by the way of diplomatic behavior. All right. So in the family, I think that love is what we have to use in correcting conflicts. Even in diplomacy, there's an amount of love you use, but the amount of love you use in outside diplomatic relationship is being controlled by your policies. But when it comes to family, the flexibility is so much that you cannot apply serious diplomacy.
Mm-hmm.
Diplomacy comes with outlines, policies, and then it comes with some straight lines things that you cannot be so straight with your family when it comes to conflict. So I think that in the family, relating in the family, conflicts and other things should be solved with love, with forgiveness, with forgetfulness. And if a husband wants to be very diplomatic to the wife, I believe that there are some issues you will not even talk about it. You will just frown on it for a long time, and the wife will be dying out of your silence. Because in diplomacy, there are some places you will be silent. You don't
Mm-hmm.
talk because the issues at stake. If you make any pronunciation, it will be used against you. So you don't even talk. All right. But if it comes to the family and there's a problem between the wife and then the husband, maybe the husband is so angry that he doesn't want to talk. That is diplomacy. Because if you talk, you can go angry and they can bring a fight. Maybe you can even hit her. So you have to be quiet and move out. Maybe that might be some way diplomatic, but let's change it to love. How can love help you to humble yourself, to even say sorry when you are not wrong? How can love help you to forgive and forget even when you are not wrong? So, me as a pastor, I would want to say that let's put diplomacy on the level of relating with others outside the family, so that we do not we do not tie ourselves with unnecessary cords that will bind us and cause us to be unfaithful and disloyal to our organizations, and then to be disloyal to people that are our bosses. But in the family, we can be very flexible, we can be very loving, we can be very friendly, and we can use these attributes of loving, friendly, and then being available to solve conflicts rather than being very diplomatic. Maybe you can also tell me some more and then we can learn together.
You've done well, and you've said right. Dr. Stephen, what do you want to say?
Yes, I'm really very much satisfied with the answer, because love is the answer to all the problems, which
Yes.
arises in family. Thank you so much, Pastor Ambassador AOV. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Welcome, Dr. Cameron. Welcome so
Okay.
much. I'm grateful.
Okay.